Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the CM Mentors podcast. I'm Matt, and this is Kyle, and we're here to put a pin in season 2. What's up, Kyle?
Hey, Matt, I'm doing good, man. How are things going on your end?
Busy. I think we plan to record through November, December, and here it is, end of the year. So
Yeah, no, here we are again, and season's greetings to all the listeners too. I mean, we are getting near end of the year with Christmas holidays, other holidays towards the end of the year, New Year's. So, want to wish everybody happy holidays for that. But also, yeah, it's been a crazy year. It's been man, another good one. We've had a lot of different guests come on. A lot of good stuff. I felt like we really were hitting home this year on trying to get some different ideas out there. I felt like
yeah,
last season there was a lot of people that could talk generally about the industry, but I felt like we had a lot of specific, really targeted type guests this season. What did you think?
I think the guests were awesome, but I'll be honest with you, my personal favorite part of this entire podcast this season was you bringing your Dell management team to take a ton of weight off my back. Alex and Morgan like taking like the reins on the producing and all that work. It was a game changer for me anyway. So I thanks for Kyle for doing that, and thanks Alex and Morgan for all the awesome work you guys did. So
Yep,
much
yep.
appreciated.
No, definitely. Big thanks go out to them, of course. Yeah, it's been great for that reason too. I mean, they've been helping us with not just the production, but helping line up guests and screen them,
hmm
and make sure that we're doing what we have to be doing, trying to keep us under control. They try, but it doesn't always work.
It was like this time 2 years ago when we were just having some random chats and just kind of getting to know you talks, and like we decided like, hey, you want to do a podcast? And so we just decided to do it with no plan, no thought, just and neither one of us even knew what the hell we were doing, but we just kind of jumped in and took off with it. And it's been cool to see how it's grown and the community that's been built through the whole thing. Um, but yeah, I didn't when we first started it. I didn't naive, I guess. I didn't realize how much work was going to go into it. It's not a just even lining up guests and communicating schedules and like you're trying to get three people's work schedules and life schedules to all marry up, and that's the impossible. And I know Morgan probably pulls her hair out every time she's trying to coordinate schedules because we agree to something, we change something, it never goes according to the plan.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and even just the coordination part's tough, but then there's there's all the prep that they do for us too with talking to the guests and helping us have half a clue what we need to be talking about when we get into these things. So even though listeners may not believe it, we're not coming into these with nothing. We have half an idea before we get
Season
started.
one was nothing. Season two, we come prepared. You can probably notice if you've been watching season one and then season two, you can probably notice there's a difference in preparation levels. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Yeah, big call out to the production team for that. That's been huge, and to listeners too. Thanks to everybody for staying with us here. It's been a good season. I've gotten some good feedback already. Still love to hear more, of course, from anybody.
Yeah, of course. We're planning the 2025 year. Sounds weird to say that. But we're planning out the next year, and we've got a lot of really cool ideas and guests already lined up. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, no, for sure. And with that, all listeners, let us know if there's stuff that you really liked, things you liked or you didn't. We can take that into account when we plan out strategy for next year. We'll listen to it. Doesn't mean we're necessarily going to do it, but we'll listen to it. We want to hear the
We'll
feedback.
pretend. We'll pretend to listen.
Yep. But no, really do want to hear from listeners, of course. And yeah, it's been great. It's been a wild ride, and now looking forward to next year.
Definitely. We want to wrap up this year, and like I said, with the production team working in the background, they're putting together have put together a little short kind of compilation of all the I guess the highlights of season two here. So we're gonna roll that. And you got any final words for the year, Kyle, and prep it to 2025?
Big thing is looking forward to next year, and we will be back. So
They told me I have to come back, so we'll be
yeah,
back. No, I enjoy this. It's always good, man. It's been a fun little side project for the last couple of years, and the amount of people we've got to meet. And honestly, like every time we do an episode, like I end up learning something, right? Talking to these
Yeah.
people. So it's been awesome.
Yeah, no, same here. It's informative, not just for, I mean, it's for us too. And I've met so many cool people, and it's changed the way we've done business in a few areas too. I mean, so it's, it's not only just construction, hands and boots in the ground type stuff. There's things you can learn about business, and so much good advice from knowledgeable people that have been on. So
Definitely.
heck of a resource.
Well, with that, everyone have a happy holidays and a happy new year. We're going to roll this compilation starting now.
There we go.
Really love talking about like those strategic shutdowns that we do for clients, because it kind of scratches that like that Navy SEAL type itch that every guy has, of like, hey, it's a strategic critical strike mission where we've got to go in and extract this guy. We've got, a million contingency plans, and,
you get the pipe, you get the drill, let's go.
Yeah, exactly.
So how are you?
I'm great. Thank you guys for having me. Matt, I giggled in the background when you said that insurance is fun. I've never had an introduction. I know you were joking, but I've never had an introduction say that insurance is going to be fun to talk about. So that was great.
I didn't want to lose the audience before you even came on the screen. So right. I had to keep it interesting.
Keep it fun.
Like, he's the owner of the company, and he was like, "Do you want to learn estimating?" I'm like, okay. And he sat me down on a project and was like, "You're on flooring." And so I spent weeks calling flooring subcontractors, learning how to do takeoffs, comparing the bids. And it was just like the greatest experience. Mm-hmm. And it gave me the confidence when, a year later, it was like, what do you think about opening this Division 10 subcontracting business? It was like, well, I can already do the takeoffs. That's the hard part.
And so I tell everybody that starts on my team that, step one is that you're not going to know what the problem is or the solution. And I'm going to tell you what the problem is and the solution. Step two, you're going to come to me with the problem because you've learned how to identify the problem, and I'm going to tell you what the solution is. Step three is you're going to come to me with the problem and a variety of solutions, and I'm going to help you make the decision on what the solution is. And then step four is you're going to come to me and you're going to say, we had this problem and I solved it, and this is how I did it. And it becomes an inform. It doesn't involve me at all. It's just so I know about it. And then step five is like this nirvana group think, right? And it's one of those situations where I want to go take 2 weeks of vacation. And when I leave the job, I know that every single thing that happens within my work unit is going to happen the same way because we took this time to discuss all these things and we think like we're one person.
We have a collection of people that are incredibly nerdy about building. That we just are. And so when we're hiring people now, we're going through that process of talking with them and being like, is this something that you want? Because you're going to get thrown into a pool of people who are incredibly nerdy about building, and they're excited to wake up and solve problems in construction because they love construction, right?
And I had a client who was looking for something similar here. So I reached out and I was like, hey, I was wondering if you could send me some plans. This is kind of the style I'm looking for. I'm not trying to copy your build by any means, but I'm just trying to look for inspiration. I was like, they're never going to answer me. 2 weeks went by. So they put me on the back burner maybe, but 2 weeks went by and they reached out to me. They actually called me. We worked through a ton of plans together and ended up being able to design a house for my client down here because I made the connection with somebody in San Diego that I thought would never answer me. Like, I think it's just go for it. Make sure that you just take what you want and make it yours without just taking a backseat to your life. You have to keep pushing ahead and make the decisions for yourself.
Usually it's one of three areas. It's either the why do you want to leave your current job question. A lot of people mess that up. Super, super, super common. The thing that's tricky about that question is that it's not really a question about why you want to leave your current job at all. It's a question about what's motivating you.
And they need to put into what they want to get out of it. Like, they need to work hard. They need to say yes. So if their employers ever come to them and say, hey, do you want to be part of an organization or an association? The answer is yes. You want to be, because you're going to grow yourself in a way you didn't think you could grow yourself. You're going to meet people that, honestly, the further you grow in your professional career are going to people that you're probably going to call for help one day, or they may get you your next job one day. So it's like, build those connections, keep those connections going and always say yes to every opportunity, because if you say no, that could have been a trajectory to get you to your next level.
In order to break it down, like I find when I do estimates, right, you can do it on the change order side, but when I'm doing independent estimating, I like to break it down each item as much as I can, right? Because it's when you see more detail and it's smaller numbers, yes, they add up to what you want, but it's palatable. When you
say pick another language, particularly one that's relevant within the construction industry. If you're of another culture, I would say immerse yourself in that culture and that language.
So a couple things I would say is the best advice I ever got, which I wish I would have gotten earlier in my career, was prepare your response. And prepare your response. And do not be afraid to draw that line, because most times people are testing their limit. So when you don't draw that line and you're like, oh, you try to laugh it off, you try to be cool, you try to be one of the guys, you try to whatever, you've instantly set your standard there. Same thing we would talk about, right? When we talk about walking a job site with contractors, if you walk by something and you accept it, that's your new standard.